mesmerized by these eyes. I'm so highly watching while I'm mesmerized by these eyes. I'm so highly watching while I'm mesmerized by these eyes. I'm so highly watching while I'm mesmerized by these eyes. I'm so highly watching while I'm mesmerized by these eyes. I'm so highly watching while I'm I'm so highly.